Jason Carter stepped onto the bustling concourse of Terminus Station, the galaxy's premier hub for interstellar diplomacy and commerce. Amid the throng of alien merchants and human traders, the air was filled with a cacophony of different languages and the distinct aromas of far-off worlds. He navigated through the crowd, his destination a private meeting room where today's first-time diplomatic encounter would occur. Beside him, his old friend and colleague, Tom Reynolds, adjusted his translator device. "You think they'll be much different from the others we've met?" Tom asked, his tone a mixture of curiosity and skepticism. Jason shrugged. "Heard they're unique, even by galactic standards. The Marians. Supposed to be real lookers too, according to the scout reports." As they approached the meeting room, another figure joined them, Michael Chun, a top linguist and cultural expert. Michael's expertise would be crucial in navigating the initial communication barriers. "Everything's set up," Michael announced. "The translation protocols are ready, but expect some hiccups. First contacts are never smooth." The trio entered the room, a spacious area designed to comfort and impress. At the far end, the Marians awaited, their forms ethereal and shifting subtly in the ambient light. Jason stepped forward, extending a hand in greeting, a common human gesture. "I'm Jason Carter. This is Tom Reynolds and Michael Chun. We represent the Terran Diplomatic Corps." The lead Marian, a tall figure with a serene demeanor, approached. "I am Lyria, designated speaker for the Myria. We greet you in peace and curiosity." Tom nodded, watching the interaction with keen interest. "Pleasure's all ours. Your arrival's been quite the buzz around here." Lyria's form shimmered slightly as she nodded, a sign of her species' unique body language. "We hope to learn much from this exchange." Michael, ever the scholar, chimed in. "We've prepared various materials about our cultures, technologies, and governance. We hope these will aid in our mutual understanding." Lyria responded with what could be interpreted as a smile. "We, too, have brought information. Our culture values harmony and understanding. We believe this is the beginning of a fruitful relationship." Jason felt the weight of the moment, the potential for a new alliance, or at the very least, a peaceful exchange. "Shall we start with a tour of our facility? It might give you a better understanding of how we operate." "That would be agreeable," Lyria replied, her tone melodic. As they walked through the station, Jason pointed out various diplomatic offices and trade centers. "These areas are where we manage our relations with other star systems and conduct trade negotiations." Tom took over as they passed a cultural exhibit. "And here we display artifacts from different cultures, both human and alien. It's a small effort to appreciate and celebrate diversity." Lyria seemed fascinated, her eyes absorbing every detail. "In Myria, we also collect and cherish knowledge. Perhaps we could exchange exhibits in the future." Michael noted the interest. "That's a wonderful idea. Cultural exchange is a foundational step towards deeper understanding." As the tour continued, the conversation flowed from trade to technology, culture to philosophy. The initial awkwardness melted away, leaving a budding respect and curiosity among the group. Back at the meeting room, Lyria expressed her gratitude. "Your hospitality is commendable. We are eager to discuss more tomorrow. Perhaps delve into the complexities of interstellar trade and environmental ethics." "Looking forward to it," Jason confirmed, feeling optimistic about the days ahead. "Let's make a solid foundation for future generations." As the Marians departed, Tom clapped Jason on the shoulder. "Not bad for a day's work, huh?" "Not bad at all," Jason agreed, his mind already racing with possibilities. This was just the beginning, and the potential was enormous. The next morning, Jason and his team gathered early at the conference room, ready to delve deeper into the complexities of interstellar diplomacy with the Marians. As they set up, Tom Reynolds reviewed the agenda with Michael Chun. "Do you think they'll go for the trade proposal right off the bat, or should we ease into it?" Tom asked, looking over the digital documents on his tablet. "Let's start with the cultural exchange and environmental policies. It's softer ground," Michael suggested. "It'll give us a sense of their priorities and values." Jason nodded in agreement as he arranged his notes. "Right. Lyria seemed particularly interested in our environmental tech yesterday. It could be a good bridge to more sensitive topics." The Marians arrived, their silhouettes shimmering slightly as they entered the human-designed space. Lyria led the group, her demeanor as calm and composed as the day before. "Good morning," Jason greeted, projecting warmth. "We hope today's discussions will be as productive and enlightening as yesterday's." "Good morning," Lyria echoed. "We are prepared to learn and share." Michael started the session by presenting a brief overview of human environmental technologies, emphasizing sustainability and renewable energy solutions. "Our goal is to achieve harmony with our planet, much like your philosophy." Lyria listened intently, her head tilting occasionally in what appeared to be a gesture of interest. "Your methods are advanced. Myria has similar practices, but perhaps we can integrate some of your technologies with ours." Encouraged by her interest, Tom jumped in with the cultural exchange proposal. "We'd like to suggest starting an intercultural art and knowledge program. Exhibits, artist exchanges, maybe even joint educational initiatives." "A commendable idea," Lyria responded. "Myria values knowledge and cultural richness. We would be honored to participate." The meeting was going smoothly until Jason decided to introduce the trade proposal. "We also wanted to discuss potential trade agreements. We believe both our people could benefit greatly from shared resources." Lyria's expression shifted, the shimmer in her form dimming slightly. "Trade is a complex issue. We must consider the impact on our ecosystem and societal structures." Jason sensed the change in tone and realized he might have pushed too hard. "Of course, we're not looking for an immediate agreement. Just starting a dialogue to explore possibilities." Michael noticed the tension and quickly steered the conversation back to safer waters, discussing potential educational collaborations. As they navigated through the nuances of the proposed initiatives, Tom, sensing a lighter moment was needed, tried to lighten the mood. "By the way, Lyria, yesterday you mentioned being curious about some of our expressions," Tom said with a smile. "Touch them, I dare you. Think you can handle these magnificent curves?" It's actually a humorous challenge among friends, often about dealing with complex situations. Lyria's form brightened again, the glow returning. "Ah, I see. Language is such a fascinating aspect of culture. It's easy to see how misunderstandings can occur." Jason chuckled, relieved. "Indeed, it is. We're always learning from these interactions. It's what makes this work so interesting." As the meeting wrapped up, Lyria extended her gratitude. "Thank you for your understanding and patience. We are still learning how to navigate this new relationship." "Thank you, Lyria," Jason replied. "We're all learning here. Let's keep the lines of communication open." As the Marians left, Jason, Tom, and Michael gathered their thoughts. "Well, that could have gone better, but it could have gone worse," Jason mused. "Yeah," Tom agreed. "It's a dance, isn't it? 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Let's just make sure the next step doesn't land on anyone's toes," Michael added with a laugh. All 3 laughed, the tension dissipating. They were in unfamiliar territory, but they were navigating it together, one careful step at a time. The following day, the atmosphere in the conference room was charged with a cautious optimism. Jason and his team had reviewed yesterday's discussions and were prepared to steer the conversations into more productive channels, emphasizing mutual learning and cooperation. "Let's keep today focused on learning and sharing," Jason suggested as he met with Tom and Michael before the Marians arrived. "Yesterday showed us they're cautious about trade, so let's build trust through cultural and educational exchanges." Michael nodded, pulling up a presentation on his tablet. "I've got a detailed proposal for a joint educational program. It involves student and faculty exchanges, collaborative research projects, and shared online courses." Tom, looking over Michael's shoulder, was impressed. "Looks solid. Education is a great equalizer. Hard to argue against the benefits of shared knowledge." The Marians entered, and Lyria approached with a serene smile. "We look forward to today's discussions." Jason welcomed them warmly. "We have some ideas about educational collaborations that we think could benefit us all." "Michael, why don't you start?" Michael took the lead, outlining the educational proposal. He detailed how the exchange program would work, including the logistics of travel, accommodations, and the integration of Marian students into human educational systems and vice versa. Lyria listened intently, her luminescent form glowing softly in the light of the conference room. This initiative could indeed foster deeper understanding between our peoples. We are particularly interested in the research collaboration aspect. Encouraged by her interest, Tom introduced a new topic. We're also keen on setting up a series of joint cultural festivals, art, music, food, and more. It could be a celebration of both human and Marian cultures, held alternately on Earth and Myria. A festival, Lyria repeated, the idea seemingly piquing her interest. A celebration of diversity and unity. We find this proposal very appealing. Jason was pleased with the positive reception. We envision it as a way to not only learn about each other's cultures, but also to celebrate them. It's about creating spaces where our people can meet, share experiences, and build personal connections. I agree, Lyria said. Personal connections are the foundation of true understanding. The conversation moved on to the specifics of implementing these ideas. Logistics, funding, and potential dates were discussed, with both teams contributing ideas and solutions. As they hashed out the details, Michael brought up a practical concern. We'll need to consider language and communication. Our proposal includes a comprehensive language immersion program as part of the exchange. Lyria nodded thoughtfully. Language is the key to understanding a culture deeply. We appreciate your foresight in this matter. As the meeting drew to a close, Jason felt a sense of accomplishment. I think we've made some real progress today. It's been incredibly productive. Lyria agreed, her voice reflecting her satisfaction. Indeed, it has been. We are grateful for your openness and enthusiasm. After the Marians left, Jason, Tom, and Michael debriefed. Well, that went about as well as we could have hoped, Jason remarked, gathering his papers. Tom grinned, looking relaxed for the first time since the meetings began. It's amazing what a little cultural camaraderie can do, isn't it? Absolutely, Michael added. It's about finding common ground and respecting the differences. Today felt like a big step in the right direction. They left the room feeling optimistic, ready to relay the day's successes to their superiors. The groundwork for a meaningful partnership was being laid, one conversation at a time, bridging the vast expanse between two very different cultures with shared human and Marian aspirations. Later that week, Jason, Tom, and Michael were invited to visit Myria to further their cultural understanding and strengthen the burgeoning relationship. As their shuttle descended through the misty atmosphere of Myria, Jason peered out at the vibrant landscapes below, a tapestry of lush greenery and flowing waters punctuated by the soft glow of Marian cities. Upon landing, Lyria greeted them at the spaceport, her form shimmering more brightly on her home turf. Welcome to Myria. We are pleased to host you and share the beauty of our world. Jason smiled warmly. We're honored to be here, Lyria. Your world looks breathtaking from up above. As they exited the port, Lyria guided them into a sleek, hovering vehicle. I've arranged a tour of our capital before tonight's cultural festival. There's much to show you. The drive was mesmerizing. The city was a blend of natural beauty and architectural marvels, with structures that flowed seamlessly into the surrounding environment. Michael, ever the academic, was quick to ask questions. These buildings, are they grown organically? Yes, Lyria explained. Our architecture is bioengineered to coexist with the environment, growing and adapting as needed. Tom, looking around in awe, added, it's like nothing we have on Earth. There's a harmony here that's just different. Their first stop was a museum dedicated to Marian history and culture. As they walked through, Jason was particularly struck by an exhibit displaying the evolution of Marian art. Your artistic progression mirrors your societal values quite closely, doesn't it? Lyria nodded. Art reflects life, and our life is about harmony and fluidity. You will see these themes throughout our culture. The tour continued, and as dusk approached, they arrived at the venue for the cultural festival. It was an open-air amphitheater, surrounded by luminous plants that lit up the area with natural light. As the event started, Jason, Tom, and Michael were treated to a spectacle of Marian music and dance, unlike anything they'd seen. The music had a complex, ethereal quality, and the dances were an intricate display of fluid movements that matched the rhythms perfectly. During a quiet moment, Tom leaned over to Jason. You know, I was skeptical at first, but seeing all this, feeling the vibe here, it's changing my perspective. Jason nodded in agreement. It's one thing to talk about exchange, and quite another to experience it firsthand like this. Lyria joined them, her eyes reflecting the light of the glowing plants. I hope tonight shows you the heart of our people. It does, Michael chimed in, and it's a beautiful heart at that. The night ended with a communal meal, where Jason, Tom, and Michael were invited to share in traditional Marian delicacies. As they ate, they discussed the events of the day with Lyria and other Marian officials. Jason raised his glass in a toast. To new friends and deeper understanding, Lyria smiled, her entire being radiating warmth. To shared paths and mutual growth. As the group made their way back to their accommodations, the discussions were light but meaningful. Tom mused aloud. Imagine if we could bring even a fraction of this harmony back with us. Jason, feeling inspired, agreed. Let's aim for that. This partnership could be the start of something big, not just for us or for Myria, but for the potential of all interstellar relations. The day's experiences had forged a deeper connection among them all, highlighting the possibilities that lay in cultural sharing and the profound impact of truly experiencing another world. The following morning, Jason and his team met for breakfast in the Marian guest quarters, a structure harmoniously integrated into a lush garden that seemed to pulse with life. As they gathered around the table, the conversation naturally revolved around the previous night's cultural showcase. That was an incredible experience, Michael commented, still in awe. The way they use art and music to express communal values. It's quite profound. Tom nodded in agreement while sipping his morning beverage. Yeah, the harmony they achieve with their environment. It makes you rethink our approaches back home. Jason, looking thoughtful, added, I was particularly struck by the fluidity of their architecture and social interactions. There's a lesson there for us. As they continued their discussion, Lyria joined them, her presence almost blending into the natural surroundings. Good morning. I trust you found the accommodations comfortable? Very much so, Jason replied. And we were just discussing the festival last night. Your culture has a beautiful way of blending life and art. Lyria smiled. I'm glad you appreciate it. Today, I'd like to show you one of our environmental sanctuaries. It's a place where you can see firsthand how we manage and interact with our ecosystems. The team eagerly agreed, and soon they were traveling to the sanctuary, a vast area preserved to maintain the planet's biodiversity. The sanctuary was a network of floating gardens, crystal-clear waterways, and bioluminescent plants, creating a vibrant tapestry of colors and life. As they walked through this living museum, Lyria explained, this sanctuary is not just a refuge for plants and animals, but also a research center where we study ecological balance and develop new methods for sustainable living. Michael, always curious, asked, how do you manage to maintain such balance? It's all about understanding the natural cycles and enhancing them without disruption, Lyria explained. For instance, these floating gardens help purify the water while providing habitats for aquatic life. Tom, intrigued by the practical applications of such technology, remarked, there's a lot we could learn from this. Imagine implementing similar systems on Earth. Jason was quick to catch on to the potential benefits. Perhaps this could be another area of collaboration between our peoples. Sharing knowledge on ecological management could benefit us all. Lyria nodded. Indeed, it would align perfectly with our discussions on educational and technological exchange. As they delved deeper into the sanctuary, the conversation turned more personal. Jason took a moment to ask Lyria about her own experiences. Lyria, how do you find interacting so closely with humans? We're quite different after all. Lyria paused, her expression thoughtful. At first, it was challenging, but understanding comes from interaction and a willingness to learn from one another. I've found our exchanges to be enriching, truly opening my eyes to the vastness of perspectives in the universe. Jason appreciated her honesty. It's a two-way street. We've also learned a lot from you. It's not just about technology or systems, but understanding different ways of being, of seeing the world. As the tour concluded, they gathered by a serene lake, reflecting the sky's azure. I hope today has given you a glimpse into the core of what makes Myria what it is. Lyria said. Our respect for life in all its forms is what guides us. Thank you, Lyria, Jason responded warmly. It's been an enlightening experience. We're looking forward to continuing this journey of mutual understanding and cooperation. The day had been another step forward in their cultural and environmental understanding, cementing the foundation for what both sides hoped would be a long and fruitful collaboration. After their enlightening visit to the Marine Environmental Sanctuary, Jason and his team were inspired by the possibilities of integrating similar sustainable practices on Earth. Energized by these new ideas, they met with Lyria and her colleagues at the Marine Council building to discuss potential joint ventures in environmental technology. As they assembled in the sleek, naturally lit conference room, Jason initiated the meeting with a sense of purpose. Yesterday's visit to your sanctuary was truly inspiring. We believe there's significant potential for joint projects that could benefit both our worlds. Lyria, reflecting the serene confidence of her people, responded warmly. We are pleased to hear that. Our sanctuary is a testament to our commitment to ecological balance. We are open to exploring how our approaches can be adapted for Earth. Michael, equipped with a digital notepad filled with notes and sketches from their visit, chimed in. One of the concepts we found most fascinating was your use of bioengineered plants for water purification. We see potential applications not just on Earth, but in our space habitats. Tom added, we also think your solar integration techniques in architecture could revolutionize how we design habitats on other planets. There's a lot we can do together. The Marines, intrigued by these proposals, suggested setting up a series of workshops to further explore these technologies. Perhaps a task force could be formed, one of the Marine Council members proposed. A team from each side dedicated to adapting and testing these technologies under different environmental conditions. Jason nodded eagerly. That's an excellent idea. A task force would ensure that both sides contribute equally and learn from each other effectively. As they delved deeper into planning, Lyria proposed an idea that caught everyone by surprise. In addition to the practical applications of our technology, why not include a cultural component in this project? We could integrate Marine art concepts into the design of these new systems, making them not only functional but also aesthetically reflective of our combined cultures. Michael was immediately captivated by this idea. Blending function and art, that would truly set these projects apart and make the technology feel more integrated into daily life. It's brilliant. The meeting continued with discussions on timelines, resource allocation, and initial pilot projects. Jason and Tom worked closely with their Marine counterparts, sketching out the first phases of what was quickly becoming a groundbreaking initiative. As the session wrapped up, the group agreed to meet again in a month, after both sides had the chance to gather the necessary resources and set up the preliminary frameworks for the task force. Walking back to their lodgings, Tom expressed his excitement about the project's potential. This could be the kind of collaboration that doesn't just change how we do things, but also how we think about what's possible. Jason, feeling a mix of satisfaction and anticipation, agreed. Today, we laid the groundwork for something that might one day be seen as a pivotal moment in human-Marine relations. Michael, ever the thinker, added, and it's not just about sharing technology or art. It's about weaving together the very fabric of our societies. This project could be a model for how diverse civilizations can cooperate on a universal scale. Their conversation continued into the evening, with each sharing thoughts on how best to communicate these new ideas to their respective leadership and public. The excitement was palpable. They were on the brink of something transformative, not just for their own people, but potentially for all interstellar societies engaged in similar efforts. The collaborative spirit of the day's discussions left them optimistic about the future and eager to continue their pioneering work together. As Jason, Tom, and Michael continued their work on the collaborative environmental project, the excitement from their initial discussions began to meet the realities of interstellar diplomacy and technological integration. In a conference room back on Earth, the trio met with both human and Marine leaders via a secure communication link to discuss the project's progress and address emerging challenges. While the enthusiasm is high, we're encountering some logistical challenges, Jason reported, opening the meeting. The differences in our technological infrastructures are more significant than we initially anticipated. Tom chimed in, focusing on specifics. For example, Marine bioengineering doesn't integrate seamlessly with our digital systems. We need a hybrid solution that respects both technologies. A marine scientist, Avon, who was part of the task force, responded via the link. We understand the difficulties. From our side, adapting to the digital interfaces is challenging. Perhaps we need a dedicated team to focus solely on integration. Michael, looking through his notes, suggested, we could also consider staging the implementations. Start small with pilot projects that allow for adjustments before full-scale deployment. The discussion then turned to the cultural aspects of the project. Lyria, ever thoughtful, raised a concern. There is also a cultural dimension to consider. We must ensure that these technologies are socially acceptable to both our peoples. Jason nodded in agreement. Absolutely. We're planning a series of community forums on Earth to educate our people about marine technologies and their benefits. Perhaps you could do something similar on Myria? Lyria smiled softly. Indeed, we can organize cultural exchange events where your technology and its benefits are showcased alongside ours. It will promote greater understanding and acceptance. As they ironed out these details, Michael raised another point. We should also keep in mind the funding aspect. We need to secure continued financial support from both our governments. This project cannot run on enthusiasm alone. Tom took note of this. I'll arrange a meeting with our financial committees. We'll need detailed proposals ready to justify the ongoing investment. Avon added, on our side, I will ensure that the benefits of our collaboration are communicated clearly to our leaders. The ecological and cultural gains are substantial. The meeting moved towards a conclusion with tasks assigned to various team members. Jason felt a mixture of determination and caution. This is a pivotal moment for our project. Let's keep the lines of communication open and be transparent about all challenges and successes. Lyria, her image steady on the screen, agreed. Together, we are venturing into new territory, but I am confident in our collective ability to succeed. After the call ended, the room was quiet for a moment as the gravity of the undertaking settled in. Tom broke the silence, his voice optimistic yet realistic. It's not going to be easy, but the best things never are, right? Jason laughed, the tension easing slightly. Right. We've got a world to change, after all. Michael, closing his laptop, summed up the mood. And 2 worlds to bring together. Let's get to work. As they left the conference room, the weight of the challenges ahead was balanced by the potential of what they were trying to achieve. The road was long, and the obstacles were real, but the goal, a sustainable, integrated future, was clear in their minds. They were ready to face whatever came next, working together across the stars. In the sprawling conference room of the Earth Council headquarters, Jason, Tom, and Michael gathered with a group of human and marine leaders for a final meeting to solidify the agreements and commitments they had discussed over the past weeks. Today, they would finalize the details of their ambitious project and prepare to present their achievements to the wider galaxy. Jason started the meeting with a nod to the group. We've come a long way since our first discussions. Today, we solidify our partnership and set the stage for a future where our 2 peoples not only coexist but thrive together. Tom, who had spent the previous night reviewing the technical integration plans, added, we've tackled some tough challenges in getting our systems compatible, but I think we've come up with solutions that respect both our technologies and cultures. Michael, always keen on the educational aspects, chimed in. And let's not forget the cultural exchanges. These have been instrumental in building understanding and acceptance among our populations. Lyria, joining via a secure communication link, her form shimmering slightly on the screen, responded warmly. Indeed, the enthusiasm and support from both our peoples have been heartening. It is a testament to what we can achieve when we work together. A marine engineer named Kalair, instrumental in the technical integration, spoke up. The pilot projects have shown promising results. The hybrid systems are stable, and we're seeing positive feedback loops in the ecosystems where they're implemented. Jason nodded, pleased. That's great to hear, Kalair. It's crucial that we continue to monitor these projects closely and adjust as needed. Sustainability is our key goal. As the conversation shifted toward the financial and logistical aspects, Tom took the lead. We've secured initial funding from both the Earth Council and Marine Elders. It's enough to expand our pilot projects into full-scale operations over the next year. Michael added a note on public relations. We're also planning a series of documentaries that will highlight the project's development and successes. Transparency is important to maintain public support. Lyria's image nodded in agreement. On Myria, we are preparing an interactive exhibit that will travel across major cities, showcasing the joint technologies and the benefits they bring to our environments. The meeting moved into its final phase, where the documents formalizing the partnership were reviewed and signed. Jason, Tom, and Michael each took a moment to sign the digital documents, followed by Lyria and Kalair signing for Myria. Jason looked around the room, a sense of accomplishment filling the space. This is more than just a project now. It's a bridge between our worlds, a symbol of what we can achieve together. Tom, feeling reflective, added, "It's been a journey, but seeing everything come together like this makes all the hard work worth it." Michael, ever the optimist, concluded, "Here's to a future where we continue to learn from each other and grow together." As the meeting adjourned, the group stood together, human and Marian, united in their commitment to a shared future. The discussions that had started with tentative hopes had culminated in a robust framework for cooperation and mutual growth. Walking out of the conference room, Jason felt a profound sense of hope and determination. The challenges ahead were still significant, but with the foundations they had built, both Earth and Myria were ready to face them together. The unity they had forged was just the beginning of a new era of interstellar collaboration and understanding.